have some faces. I watch myself, like, have you ever uploaded a video onto YouTube and saw their thumbnails of what they want you to use?
Yeah.
I'm always in some weird like setting where my face is like contorted into weird stuff every single time, and I'm like, fuck it. I don't even care.
I just don't care anymore. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe that'll get me some attention. Whatever. It's
Hi,
all
Sophia.
good.
Yeah, so it's funny when I saw that, I thought you had screenshotted it, and I was like, oh crap. So hello guys, thank you for tuning in with us on this beautiful Monday, and thank you guys so very much for giving me the opportunity to take care of my Christmas tree last week. It was the last day that I had and Ben had together before he went back to work, so it was crazy. Hi David. Mandee, how are things with you?
They're so good for the most part. I mean, it's kind of, to be honest, it's been a heavy energy for a lot of people transitioning from the holidays into this current astrological season. We've got Venus and Mercury retrograde going on at the same time. There's a deep look in how we're choosing to show up for ourselves. And there can be a lot of different ego triggers, a lot of opportunities to just stick to a goal that we really set and we want to hold ourselves accountable to. There's a lot of relationships coming and going right now. There's a lot of grief happening, transition, there's illness. So there's just some heavy energies. But what it comes down to is there's this opportunity to embody as much as we can of this kind of life force and to show up for ourselves in the best way possible and choose our actions and reactions. And even if we are going through the worst thing like grief, like letting it break our heart open. So there's just an opportunity to really kind of show up right now in all of these raw, real emotions. And as we do this retrograde review, and I'm seeing that in my own life. I'm doing a medical medium cleanse again. I do those often, and I'm doing those with a couple of the other sea goddesses, Lexi, our mermaid in the mountain, and Kendra from Higher Self Healing. And it's been fun, and I'm proud of myself for doing it today. And I've got my parsley tea going right now, and I made some
see, you're so much better than me. I have my Coke with me. I'm like, it's my crack. I have to have at least one hit a day. I'm really bad about that.
I used to love Coke, but I haven't had a soda. I guess this summer will be 5 years since summer of 2017. So the summer will be 4 years.
Wow. Oh, good for you.
And that was
good for you.
That's when I switched soda for celery juice pretty much. And I'm not perfect yet, but I just keep getting a little bit better and a little bit healthier slowly but surely. So holidays, I totally did not do the best. That's why I had to invite it back in now.
Yeah, so I feel like people don't understand the connection between food and our feelings and foods and certain stuff. And so it's really funny because people talk about veganism, and I'm not going to push an agenda. I eat meat. But I do want to say that I understand that meat is a lower vibrational energy. And it's more so because, especially if you're not eating the proper meat structures or what comes from something, sometimes we can't do that. We don't have the funds. We just eat what we can eat. And so, but if you're more of a depressive person, is it the food that you're taking in? I have had to learn that I'm very sensitive to what I put into my body. So whether it be sugar's horrible for me. I know it is. Drinking this Coke is it definitely takes me down. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, I'll sacrifice it. That's awesome. But it's one of those things. So you making that choice and that decision helps you feel lighter in a lot of different ways, not just in the health track. It's also mind, it's soul, it's understanding, it's even connection with spirit. The higher our vibrations are, the higher we connect and the clearer the energy comes through. And so it's one of those experiences that I think a lot of people separate themselves from, but need to really focus more on. So
that's all we can do. Moment by moment, we get that opportunity to focus and to step back in. But yeah, we got to say hi. We've got some people in the house right now.
We've got people coming in. So I said hello to Sophia is awesome. Sophia is always here. And we have David, Ben, Jennifer, Lexi, Heather, And Glenda, hello. Monica, hello, hello, hello. We have a lot of wonderful people coming in today. So everything you said is right. I mean, like, that's how everything feels for a lot of people right now. One of my clients today has things surfacing with relationships. You being a card reader and a medium and all the things that you are, I'm sure that people ask you a lot about love and relationships and stuff like that, and they want to know. And everybody sometimes we get into a vibe where we try to force a choice before the choice should be forced, because if our vibes aren't connecting together, like, you have a piece of you who's like, no, I'm not ready, I'm not ready, I'm not ready, but then you have a piece of you who's like, just do this, or blah blah blah. We kind of have to pull those things in together and really try to understand. And Spirit was talking to them saying, yeah, I get it, there's a balance, whatever, that's taking place. And so it's not time to make that move yet, because we're still giving some space for healing. We're still opening that door for healing and understanding, but in the future there may be choices that have to be made. But there's a lot of people experiencing that in their relationships. My 4 o'clock person had a grief. They have lost like 5 people in a very short period amount of time, and have experienced a tremendous amount of tragedy in a couple of those passings. And so, yeah, people are going through it right now, and it's really hard because you want to be able to say all the right things. If I wish that Spirit has busted down upon me this great, amazing answer as to how to get through grief, but it's a process. And I always sometimes feel bad because even the messages come through, but afterwards, there's still no magic pill for me to give to somebody to say, here you go. And a story, you feel great for the rest of your life. No, that's not how it happens.
Grief is one of those things that we feel here in human school. We have to. Everybody goes through it. It's an initiation. It's the best way that I can describe it so far. And I've been really lucky to have not gone through major grief yet in my life. But I've certainly had my fair share of heartache, and I help people through it. Is I've come to really notice that grief is like all the love that you wish you could use and give to someone, but you can't. Mm-hmm. So what grief really is when it comes down to it is true love, whether you want to call it the price of love or the cost of love, or you want to use it as an abundance of all this energy that you have within you that, oh my gosh, I have all this love that I meant and wanted to give to this person, but like I couldn't. So one of the best ways to deal with grief is to obviously, go through your feelings and do what you got to do, but let yourself ride the roller coaster, because you find humor in things you never found before. You find friendships in people you never found before. Like, there's an initiatory thing to grief if we allow ourselves to go through it. And then also doing things in honor and using some of that love that's all stored up for them in some sort of other way that ends up being really releasing and transmutive and helps you to connect to whatever spirit it is that you're missing. So I'm sending so much love, because there is just a big old crossing going on right now, and it's not been easy for people.
It's not. And it's like, be patient, be patient, be patient, be patient, be patient. And it's really weird how it happens, because do you find yourself going through things like before other people go through things?
Yeah, I get like a month. I feel like I get like a month head up in the ascension. And like, I go through it like sometimes 2 months, 6 weeks, a month. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay. And then the roller coaster happens. But yeah, we all go through it.
I was like, so I feel like the stuff that we're talking about now is essentially stuff that I went through before my clients. And so I had to, and it was really funny because like, my first client, I told her, I said, when you get through this process, if you get stuck, contact Mandee. She has already had a reading by you, by the way. And she was like, oh, I just left her. But you have this beautiful way of helping people break through some of the systems of trauma understanding, and really get to kind of the forgiveness in certain approaches, because we need to feel good for ourselves. Drinking poison isn't going to kill the other person. It's only going to attack us. And so there's some grief and some trauma and some things coming to the surface, and then all the other stuff that's going along with that. But I was like, it's really funny because Spirit cannot give me something to help somebody else with until they give it to me on some level for myself. And so there are aspects of my life where it's like, yeah, I haven't been there yet. I don't know what the hell this is. I can't help you. I know I can't help you because that's not something I've lived through quite yet. So go see this person or look for somebody like this. And that's one of the things that I've learned. I do have to kind of feel it on some level for myself before my clients get there. And then I'm like, oh yeah, then the light bulb clicks and I'm like, okay, loud and clear, thanks. So I wasn't falling apart as much as I thought I was falling apart. And then I'm apologetic because my tiny toddler came out in the process. And I'm like, should have done that, but a little better next time, hopefully. But
Yeah.
that's how I get through it. And it's funny because that's what I've noticed.
Aw. I want to read a few of these
I was like,
comments.
yeah, that's what I was going back down.
We're blowing
So,
up over here. And I wanted to giggle because I think it was Heather was talking about coffee creamer, which I totally love. She said, yeah, liquid crack is the sweet Italian cream creamer and the coffee. Oh, yeah, I get that. And I did that a lot over the holidays. And now my foot is gouty. And now I'm doing medical medium cleanse, which I was planning on doing anyway. So it kind of works out. And it's so interesting. As soon as I did my first celery juice, and I hadn't done it in like 2 weeks, and I usually do it like every day, but I was traveling and there was just things, and I replaced it with other stuff, but it wasn't quite the same. It literally felt like it swishes like your brain. It's like a floss for your brain. It clears you right up. You're like, oh my God, wow, I can see clear. And then I could like feel it moving down through my foot where I had a lot of pain and stuff. So as much as I do miss coffee and coffee creamer, I'm glad to be swapping that with the celery juice right now. And Lexi is doing the cleanse with me right now. She's our mermaid in the mountains. And she said that the cashier at Aldi's tonight was like, what are you doing? And now he wants in on the challenge too. That's awesome.
I was like, how much does that, isn't that like a lot of celery? Do you go buy celery like every single day, or do you just like buy
it
it
takes
for the
up like
week?
a quarter of my freaking fridge. I
was gonna say, my gosh.
To make 16 ounces, sometimes 2 whole heads, depending on how big they are and if they're kind of dry or not. But it's worth it.
I was gonna say it's worth it. Yes, I have like
Nobody
all of the
$5 on Starbucks every day. You know,
I know.
Celery juice. It's an investment. You choose what you want. And I'm like, you know what? I'd rather do that than like get a surgery later.
Alexi says, Glenda Hinton love, Miss Glenda the Good Witch. How have you been? So glad we are in retrograde workshop together again. I love it when you guys talk amongst each other and then you guys get to know each other too. That's really super cute. Relationships. Venus retrograde. She says also, and then Jennifer says, I am so glad you said that. I've been more open for my guides. Thank you. Ha ha ha. It's funny because what I thought was my instincts and my gut is not. The voice is changing and I am listening. I have you guys to thank for that. Thank you very much, Jennifer. I appreciate
for everybody
that.
listening, like listen to your intuition now more than ever. It's really coming in strong.
It is. There's a lot of changes, a lot of uprooting, a lot of path changes. There's a lot of everything taking place right now. It's a pull calling us to do different, be different, move different in every way, shape, or form. So listen. And then Lexi says, yes, she does. I think that's how, but I don't know. I feel like it was supposed to be does, but I'm just going to say it funnier because it was cute. Glenda says, Crystal, is it helpful to have experienced it so you can relay feelings to clients? It's helpful for me to understand it or experience it first so that I can see through my own scope or my own realm on some level of what they may be experiencing. I don't know everything, and as an empath, like we have the ability to see this much in somebody's life, and even though it might feel like a lot, it's really such a small speck in what actual feelings are existing in other people. And so if I don't understand it and I don't have some breakthrough in my own experiences, then I'm not going to be able to understand it, give that experience to other people, and relay it the way spirit wants it to be relayed. So that's why they do that for me. Do you agree with that, Mandee? Do you think that's why they do it for you?
Well, I was going to say, I think that's the case for whether you're any sort of healer or simply a human on this path. I think if you want to be authentic and you want to embody all the things you're learning and share and learn, like, yeah, you got to go through it. There's an initiation. And really all we can truly teach from is our own experiences. And, you know, hey, I went through this. This is what I experienced. This is what happened. This is what worked for me. This is what I could present for you. Or I haven't really experienced that yet, but I can hold your hand and maybe we can do some research and discover that together. And so I find that I've been through some wild ass shit in my life, and it has prepared me for many of the clients I work with. And there's just, for every single person out there, no matter what kind of trauma or pain you've been through, even if it's the dark of the dark right now, there is hope. There is a silver lining. There's often so much purpose to that pain. And there is like magical, beautiful synchronicities, even if it doesn't make any sense at all right now, even if you're still absolutely livid. There's bridges to be built in the future. So hang on there.
Yeah. So Jennifer says, I am beyond grateful for you guys. And Glenda says, I feel that. So thank you guys. And so, yeah, I feel like there's just a lot of stuff. And it's funny because it is a weird energy. I woke up this morning exhausted, but I have been exhausted over the past, I don't know, like 4 days. And I looked at Ben the other day and I said, I was like, okay, so this is going to sound really weird. I feel like I have seasonal depression. I've never experienced it before. I've never experienced a winter like this before. I don't hate snow. This is the thing about Crystal. I love snow. I think that I'm struggling because I don't have an outdoor space that is not congested with people. And I feel like I need separation and I feel like I need to be pulled away from people right now. And I came to that. It was just funny because like it's been such a roller coaster over the past couple years of me trying, a couple years, guys, hear this, couple years of me trying to kind of pinpoint what my feelings and emotions are because I've always loved winter. I used to go out cross country skiing. That's actually how I hurt my shoulder. I used to ski downhill. I love winter. Like there is nothing more peaceful than being able to put a freaking coat on and some snow pants, gloves, and get yourself all out there and then take a walk in the woods in the middle of the day in a snowy, beautiful experience and listen to the wind blow and creak through the trees. And that's it. That's the sound.
The definition of magic.
And nature. That's it. There's no craziness. There's no birds chirping, which I love too in the summer. I love those vibes too. But it hits different in the winter. That literally sets my soul afire. I love that feeling. And it's like, why do I feel this way this year? This doesn't make sense to me. Like, I hate being here. I love snow. I love winter. I love these things, but I haven't for years had the opportunity to get out in my space and in my environment. I don't live in the country anymore. I don't have the means to do that. There's a lot that's happening and I'm in the middle of this negative zone in this space. And it's just like, it has bogged me down so hard. And it has really kind of attached to essentially the structure of my being and my vibe and my livelihood and how I feel. And I'm like, I need to leave. Period. End of story. Need to leave. And so over the past 4 days, it's like it's all hit me very differently. And it's very funny because Mandee's right. This is where Crystal has to get there herself sometimes. Mandee had said a long time ago, she pulled a card. I don't know if you guys remember this. And she was like, oh, I feel like you're getting moved more out west. Well, the first place that Ben and I were looking was Nevada. Okay. I decided I didn't want to be in Nevada. And then she said something about like Tahoe and completely blew that off. I was like, no, Florida. Florida's the place to be. Spirit came in and like a V8 commercial the other day. We're sitting there on the couch and like I'm just like, we keep talking about this and I'm like, it just isn't going to happen. It's not going to happen. And then the next thing you know, like I'm all bitter and angry about it. And like a V8 commercial thunk inside of the head and this voice and this feeling was like, have you thought that maybe that's not where you're supposed to go? Crystal tries to force an agenda. I try to force it. I try to control things because of how I feel in myself. I'm mindfully thinking I'm just wanting to escape the cold because it makes sense. It makes sense that would be what I'd be running from right now. It's cold making me miserable, right? No, it's not. And I had to get through all those feelings, all those understandings, and all those things to finally hear the clarity that they had been trying to give me for the last 6 months to a year. It doesn't happen instantly. There's a lot of patience in the process, and there's a lot of loving yourself through your frustration and not understanding what's happening that's holding you back.
Yeah.
There's a reason for it.
Absolutely. Like So much. And like, that's the thing. Like when we plant those seeds, we just have to be patient because you never know how it's going to percolate or how you're being protected or what the angels and your higher self have in store for you that you couldn't even possibly imagine. And you can let go of micromanaging sometimes the really big things and like just show up for yourself in the small moments. And then you can say, okay, well, if I show up for myself today, what's that going to look like in the future? I'm a winter witch too. I have one tattoo. It's of a snowflake. I grew up teaching snowboarding in Vermont. I love it. I get out there whenever I can. We just had a foot of snow this past Monday. I'm in New Jersey now, and 5 inches on Friday, and that like never happens. And it fed my soul. Like I needed it. And so I feel you. But at the same time, I'm an avid snowboarder and I can't get out there like I used to back in the day. And hopefully I'll get out a few times this winter, but everything's different. And with the whole COVID chapter and all the stuff,
Right.
you have to find ways to enjoy winter differently. So now I
Yep.
walk in the winter wind on the beach and it's cold and nasty and whippy, but there's usually not a lot of snow or no snow, but you have to embrace it in whatever way you can. And I think the magic thing is all of us need to reconnect with nature as much as possible. And seasonal depression is a real thing. And not only that, some of it's natural. We're supposed to go in our caves. We're supposed to want to hibernate and nestle and cut off all the dead ends and find out what it is we need to nurture ourselves. So sometimes I think we can be a little hard on ourselves too. And we have to remember, like we're taking that dip in the sunshine. We're not out in the sun like we usually are. So it's important to maybe supplement in your diet or in your exercise routine to make sure that you're giving yourself a little bit of a lift and a little boost as much as possible. And you're never going to feel like it. So you got to make yourself do it.
We have a lot of comments coming in.
We do. What's going on?
I was like, as you're talking, I love this. Lexi says, I think the cost of winter and hardship made me fall out of love. It became too much work and stress, not enough outdoor fun. I feel that. I feel like that too. And I have really tried. I think that Mandee's absolutely correct. I feel like the location, I'm just going to say, I feel like right now my spirit and I think everything in me that could be done in this area is done. I feel like it's just done. It's over with. And so spirit's like, stop trying to make it work. You can love yourself. You can love yourself today. You can love where you're at. You can make the best of your day. We can be as positive. We can do all the things. We can love where we're at as much as we can, but also just feeling done. It's almost like it's being perpetuated day in and day in. And I think when I first met Mandee, we had talked about that, like me just being done. I was in this space and I just knew that something was coming. And that was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I don't know. It was a while ago when I first met her, but it's been the process of closure for a period of time for me. And it took me this long to get to where it was that I finally understood what the done was. And so, yeah, I think sometimes, Lexi, we're just done with certain processes of some things and it just is what it is. And so, I feel like it's giving love to that in the best way you can and saying, okay, this is where I am now. And obviously I'm here for a reason. So show me why. Give me the why. Tell me what I need to still pick up, understand, know, acknowledge, help, whatever that is. Give that to me and that will be my focus today because I'm having a hard time focusing on other things. And so that's kind of what I've done to help bring my mind space better. But yeah, the place that I live, it's like it's so heavy. It's just heavy. And Glenda says this has been the most Monday-ish Monday ever. Fall for me. Leaves falling is my favorite. Winter, not so much. Fall is absolutely beautiful. And Mandee, Vermont, I'm sure that's gorgeous in the fall. Probably a lot like Michigan. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you can't even explain the colors you can see. Like, yeah, you see pictures of it. Yeah, you know what it kind of looks like in your mind, but until you actually like see it with your eyes, you're like, wow. And it's such brilliant colors that it's a whole experience.
I was gonna say, and I know we've seen you before, and I'm so sorry about the name. I always feel like I get your name. Viwi says, hello from South Africa. Thank you for tuning in again. It says, may I please have a message from my loved ones? Thanks. Do you know what you want to know from your loved ones? I have 3 people who are stepping forward for me right now, which means to me, there's 2 women and 1 dude that's stepping through. The guy's coming in on dad's side of the family. He's a great-grandfather is how he's presenting this to me, and he's doing this, which usually means stubborn, but I don't think he's stubborn. I feel like he was very set in who he was as a person. And I think that those were beautiful foundations, moral systems, and like who we are as a person. I am going to say that how you're presenting this to me, he's giving you lots of love surrounding you. And that also means to me that you're kind of trying to learn to grow in different ways for yourself. And I think right now there's some shifts and changes happening within the family system and the family dynamics, which is why he's coming through and he's giving these messages the way that he is. Because I feel like there are some things that may be kind of collapsing within the family system in itself based on what our old school type of mentalities, moral systems may have been in the past. But he really wants people to understand and know that as long as we're doing things with the greater good of us and who we are as people, we need to understand that we're doing them for us and ourselves as well, for our family structures and our family systems. Because I feel like you and or somebody else is struggling with making choices and moving forward for ourselves right now. And I think you need to not be stuck by systems and people around you, and instead make that jump and that leap of faith in your life to go on your direction and go where you need to be. Also do have a grandmother on mom's side of the family that is stepping through. I don't know if your mom is over on the other side, but I have this beautiful mom energy that's stepping through with the grandma system, okay? And that's why I said I don't know if you have mom on here because I feel like this is two different people, but I have grandma stepping forward for me first. She's giving lots and lots of love. She's also lifting you in light. And I feel like you need to understand and be strong in your moment, and power and truth is how she is giving this to me. And she is igniting you, like lighting a fire underneath you, which means to me that right now you've got some changes happening in your life structure that is causing you to shake some things up, I think, that is different from what everybody expects out of you. And she's actually giving you a huge round of applause because I feel like you yourself are just becoming ignited with love for yourself and passion for yourself and growth for yourself. And I think this has been a long time coming. You need to be strong in who you are and some of the boundaries that you've created over the past 6 months to a year, because I don't think everybody's happy with some of those boundaries, but she's 100% making me feel like those things are for you and for your truth and what you want to do. Also, keep talking to them. I feel like right now you're having like a disconnect take place where you're not really picking up on the energy and the emotions, the feelings, and being able to put it all together for yourself. And she's almost making me feel like you feel imbalanced a little bit with bringing in some of the energies and knowing who and what it is that's coming into you. I'm going to give you lots of love because they're making me feel like you have lots of love. I also don't know if somebody just recently made a stew, but and I don't know like how it's being. It looks like a stew to me. It's this like a bowl, and it has what looks like a beef stew type process, but I don't think it's beef stew. Okay, so what she's doing is she's stirring the pot for me, and that would sound like spirit stirring the pot, but she's not. She's making me feel like this is actually a recipe that has been passed down that somebody either recently made and or somebody is wanting to make in their life, probably because once again, that's our soul, that's the thing. So just know that she's still a part of the process of what's taking place in your life and everybody else's. Stop taking on too much for everybody, my dear. Now's your time to shine. Now's your time to shine.
That was beautiful. That was awesome. That was for Viwi from South Africa. If I said that right. If we didn't say that right, please let us know.
It's like we like to call you by your real name.
Yeah, we're learning and doing our best for sure. She said her mom's still alive. I'm sure it's my granny.
Okay. Well, her grandma's beautiful and funny and a little bit strong. Independent woman. I will say independent. Very independent. She's a good character. She says what she means and means what she says. She's
Aww.
very funny. She is a very strong, amazing, beautiful person. I feel like she was like the glue that held everybody together. And I almost want to say that I feel like Vivi is that person now, but I think she has some different she wants to change things up a little bit. She's growing, she's learning, she's healing. And I feel like that's a struggle in any family system, because when we go against the grain of what everybody thinks normal is, everybody thinks we're the crazy ones. And nobody wants to listen, but they want to come and they want to get that advice because they know on some level we give good advice. And I just feel like you're kind of turning into this glue for other people in the structure of your life. So be patient, kind, and loving to yourself. But also remember, sometimes other people have to pick up their problems. We can't carry the world. Look, psychic, mediums, healers, don't matter. We can't stop World War III from happening just by ourselves. It takes a whole bunch of people, which is why we do the work that we do every day. So don't overexert yourself with things that you can't control. So she gives lots of love, though. You're a strong, strong lady. I'll stop talking, Mandee. I promise. I'm sorry.
Right. That was absolutely beautiful. That's what we're here for tonight. we have so many people, and we're gonna get through as many comments as we can. If you have questions, let us know. Jen Burke said she can relate for sure. Heather said she's been exhausted lately too, only been getting 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night. Oh, that's rough. The dreams my husband has been having is waking him up, which wakes me up, and then I'm up. Dreams have been off the hook this week for so many people.
I know.
I'm hearing it left and right. I even had a few of my own weird little dreams.
I love that. See, I love having crazy dreams. They're fun.
They are fun. Do you want to read the next comment?
Sure. It is from Sophia. We love you, Sophia. Says, you talked about energy drains lately, and while that can be normal for me, I'm feeling it so hard. I keep getting the phrase psychic attack in my head. That's your angels and guides telling you that that's what's going on. I've been breaking out like crazy, which isn't normal, and I feel so gross in my skin. Honey, I'm sorry. Also not normal. I'm going to ask Mandee to respond to this one, because this is an angel guide. I believe that there's a lot of stuff. Like, I really want to say that how I'm perceiving this and how they're presenting it to me is that it's like a spiritual, emotional, physical dump, I guess is how I'm going to say this, because they're making me feel like there are a lot of toxins being siphoned like out of the system right now. So I don't know if you've done a cleanse recently or something along those lines, but they are making me feel as though that you're kind of dumping some of those old toxic systems that have been embedded in your energy and also in your actual organs for quite some time. And that's why you would be getting the breaking out that's taking place. But they're also making me feel like you do have some stuff that probably is coming at you, but I don't necessarily know that it's something that you specifically can control. And so it's like really strengthening up that energy field in that space and that bubble that you have around you, because I feel like this is more from other people. And we've got kind of a wavy field, I guess is how I'm seeing it. It's not as strong of a bubble. It's almost like it has some holes in it and cutting cords.
Beautiful. I'm going to add, and I'm going to pull a few cards for you, Sophia. Before I do that, though, every time, Crystal and I do this often, but every time we have a physical symptom, we always look it up in Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life, and take a look at what that's about. Any sort of acne that comes up is not accepting the self and a dislike of the self. The way we fix that is, I am a divine expression in life. I love and accept myself where I am right now. And blackheads, I used to get a lot of blackheads, are small bursts of anger.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that'll happen. So I invite you, Sophia, we're going to pull you a couple cards too, but just to remember like how peaceful you are, and to start loving and accepting yourself and knowing you're doing the best you can at this time, and releasing, as much as possible. And if it is, and they're also showing too, like Crystal said, there's probably just a few things you can add into your diet that would just pump that like right away. It would just like tune you up right away. And it's like, I'm just seeing it just being a little bit of an imbalance, finding its balance again. I like celery juice a lot for skin issues, any sort of skin issue, any sort of issue really. But I'm also going to pull you a few cards, Sophia. Perfect. So you got, first of all, you got dance. Do something to shift your vibration. This is for everybody out there. Whenever we're kind of in a phase where we're not feeling the best, or we feel like we might be getting, Sophia's getting it hard with this psychic attack action, it's really important to do our best to take a few breaths and try to do something to shift our vibration and distract ourselves, whether that's actually dancing or doing yoga or reading a book or watching a show or just doing something to kind of get out of your head and into your heart helps a ton. They want you to know that cracked open, this is happening for you, not to you. So really observe what's going on right now. When it comes to psychic attacks for anyone or anything, always ask your angels to surround you in white and blue light and protect you. Know that in order for spirit to get through, you have to give them permission. And so sometimes I feel like psychic attacks, like, yeah, it could be some like residual negative energy, but a lot of times it's just us when we're overwhelmed and our anxiety just gets through the roof and we've got to rein it back on in. Know that this is all happening for you. They also want you to know that your intuition has been off the chain lately. It says, trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So what has your intuition been telling you about these psychic attack energies and the stuff going on, with your skin right now? And where can you make a few adjustments in order to just treat yourself and practice your own medicines and rock yourself back in? I'm also just seeing a lot of herbal teas right now, and rest as much as possible for you, Sophia. And the angels, they're just so proud of you because you show up with such a big heart and you're doing the best that you can each day. And it's just important to give yourself as much grace as you can.
So, Mandee, do you, because I know you do a lot of herbal teas, I kind of stick to the same ones. Do you recommend any specific ones specifically for what she's experiencing right now?
Oh man, pretty much anything is going to help. Really, the skin,
Okay.
all kinds of different herbs. I love parsley tea is one of my favorites for everybody, for everything. It's super cheap, but it's super packed with all kinds of vitamins that we need and minerals. It helps your skin. It helps bone issues. It helps your digestive tract, your breath, all kinds of stuff. So I always encourage that. It even helps with diabetes if you've got a sugar problem. Thyme tea parsley tea helps to regulate that. And then also I love thyme tea, some nettle tea, lemon balm, all that good stuff. But go ahead and research it. Do some research yourself because there's so many amazing teas out there. And I got obsessed with nettle tea and I never even heard of it. So you never know what's going to float your boat.
Yeah, so I guess I worded that wrong. I guess what I was trying to say is do you know of any teas that would help more on an energetic level, not a physical level? Or do all teas kind of help with that energetic force, or should people kind of look up chakra system teas or something like that to help raise vibrations, or teas that do raise vibrations and help guard or protect against those things? And or do they work on yeah, that's what I was picking up, and I was
kind of protective. And then also I'm a big fan of cannabis teas and tinctures and things like that. But I think pretty much any herb and fruit and veggie, they raise your vibe once you start enjoying them. They detox different parts of your body. Like I said, when I drink my celery juice in the morning, I feel like my brain's getting flossed. So it's just, you never know how these things are going to affect you, but they're all good. And it's important to sit with your body. I know that bananas give me tons of energy. If I have a banana, it's like being a kid in a soccer game with a halftime orange. I'm bing, back in the game. So everybody, I just encourage you to be a little different. I love oregano tea is one of the best for your skin as well as your immunity. Super, super healing, antibacterial, antimicrobial, all that good stuff.
Awesome. Thank you. See, I'm not much of a tea. I drink the same stuff. I'm an Earl Grey breakfast, black breakfast tea. And there's another one that I do, Earl Grey. I think I love those teas. I'm not much of an herbal tea drinker. I don't know why. I should. I have them. That's the thing. I have them. I just don't drink them. Tammy says, I have felt just frustrated, annoyed, and tons of anxiety the last 4 days, and I have no reason for it. I have been trying to figure out why. Still no idea. I really need my glides to slap it in front of me. I like how you slap just for dramatic effect. No.
I did. No, I do that always. Here we go, Tammy. You got several reasons. Number one, we've got synchronicity. Thank you, angels. I trust in your well-timed guidance and signs. The frustration and the anxiety are coming in for many different reasons, but one of them is to just be patient and to trust and to know that there's not a lot you can control at this time other than yourself. And it's important to know that a lot of other things are lining up in divine time. For everybody out there, we're just going into Mercury retrograde. We've got Mercury playing tricks in order to slow us down, whether it's snow days or technological issues or things like that. They're also showing, so then you get Archangel Metatron, clear your vibes. Thank you, Metatron, for clearing my energy field. There's things, the energies with these anxieties, they're lasting with you throughout the day. So it's really important to do your best to try to transmute as much of that as you can when you get home from work, or you end a phone call, or you're done being of service for a little while to someone or something. Maybe light a little sage, take a twirl in it, allow it to cleanse off your energy field. Bring as many crystals around you as you can at this time, Tammy. If you can, sage. I'm seeing a lot of sage around your house and just clearing things out, different music, stuff like that. And then if you can, like, go for a walk, shift it up, dance to a song. And it'll start moving things. This is also for anybody out there. I've taught this on the show before, but I'm going to teach again. This is like a finger hold technique that I learned actually from Rebecca Campbell in Rise Sister Rise. If you hold each finger for 30 seconds or more to the point where you can kind of feel your heartbeat, but not like you're cutting off your circulation, it's connected to almost every single acupuncture point in your body. And within about 5 minutes of just breathing through your nose and out through your mouth and holding each finger, you'll reset your entire system. You'll be able to get a little bit more clear. You'll find the peace coming in. You'll find the anxiety moving out. You'll be able to take a few breaths and then move forward with your next moments, because anxiety does come and go. We got to find ways to manage it. And then last but not least, for Tammy, you got to express your creativity. Thank you, angels, for helping me to express my inner creator. They're actually just showing you maybe starting with some journaling or a little bit of painting, something like that, to really like honor what's been going on lately. I'm a big fan if there's things that I can't figure out, whether it's I'm having a hard time forgiving someone or something, or I'm asking for guidance, I like to write a letter to myself and see what comes through. So if anybody's feeling a little lost out there or stunted in their creativity, write a letter to yourself. And I encourage you to do that too, Tammy. So I hope this helps, and just be really patient, trust in the divine timing, know there's synchronistic things happening, do everything you can to clear and balance your energy field, and start expressing your creativity a little bit. It's going to make a big difference.
Awesome. Woo-hoo. Glenda says, yes, I have not slept good at all either. I dreamed I had a seizure the other night and woke up screaming. I need my sleep so bad. You have had a lot of problems. That was kind of addressed in your reading too, that there were some sleep issues and problems. And I still feel like there's stuff kind of coming into play with that when it comes to like fear-based stuff and trying to get to the bottom. Sorry, I was like, literally, I swear to God, my brain paused for a second, and I was like, hold up, Crystal, where's the play button? That was so weird. I saw Ben with Rocky's bowl, and I'm like, he's already ate. What are you doing? But I couldn't talk. Sorry, Glenda. That was a moment for me. But I really feel like there's some things that are kind of coming in from past that are causing you a little bit of disruptions when it comes to your sleep sense. And so, yeah, we need to figure that out.
And Glenda, if you have any extra selenite kicking around, I know you've had your paws on it at some point or another, put it near your head or your pillow. And before you go to bed, for everybody out there, take a few deep breaths, like go over a few things you're grateful for, and ask your angels to surround you in white and blue light and to help you to sleep and to help you to heal and to sleep deeper. But there is a lot of dream activity going on because there's a lot of revelations happening with retrograde. So we're supposed to be getting some signs and things. But if you ask spirit to help, they will help to monitor your sleep and help you to feel refreshed, even if you are getting dream messages.
So with also selenite, because selenite is the bomb. I love selenite to pieces. If you get a wand or like, I don't know, more than just a little rock, you can also take it and you can cleanse your aura, cleanse your energy space, and you can take it and move it around you. You can do it there, and make sure you cross over each one of your chakras. Make sure you do your whole field. Make sure you touch the selenite to the ground as well to make sure that you're grounding it out. But be mindful, selenite is a beautiful, amazing crystal to have in your life. Just like Mandee's doing right now with it, you cleanse all of that out, and it actually will kind of like move the vibrations or move things out within your system and actually really help a whole lot. When I'm having like aches or pains, sometimes even like in my shoulder, I'll hold selenite to my shoulder because it is a beautiful crystal that takes on a lot, but it doesn't need to be recharged. There's no really about it. It doesn't need to be recharged. It takes it on for itself. And it really helps with a lot of those lower vibrational energies that we feel in our own life. Lexi says, Crystal, I need you to read my husband. I don't feel like your husband would let me read him. They just did this to me, and this means skeptic. And so that means that the husband isn't really open to seeing and receiving. He's funny. He's a good guy. They're making me feel like he is a goofy, goofy man, but I feel like he's a little scared of this. So it's almost like he wants to believe and he wants to understand and he wants to dive in, but at the same time, I don't know if I want to dive in, understand, and experience it, because I think he's seen stuff more than he admits that he's seen stuff. So, so I'll put that. He's an empath on steroids, I think. So
I also want to say to that too, because I love Lexi and I love her husband. I know them both well. And for every single one of us, like we always want that for our loved one to like hop on our drain and drink our Kool-Aid and experience something similar. But everybody awakens in their own divine time.
yeah.
Everybody finds interest in their own divine time. And
Yep.
particularly if you're divine feminine holding space with the divine masculine, they often happen at very different times. So just hang in there and hold the space and plant the seeds.
Yeah, it's super fun. They'll find it. They'll find their person when they're ready for it. But at the same time, I think he's super funny. His socks will be blown off, and it's going to be funny because I actually think it's going to be you. So just keep that in mind. I'll say that and shut my mouth. Um, Heather says, I feel this so much right now. Viwi says, you are so on point. Awesome. I'm so happy that your loved ones connected that way and made it make sense to you. Jennifer says, we have to make our own sunshine. We block a lot of our own blessings by not being able to control our emotions. We are entitled to our feelings, but not to push those feelings on others. Reverse vamp. Perspective is everything. Life is dull during the winter. It really is, especially in some places. The colors change. It's time for things to go indoors. It's a sense of maybe focus on self and home. Exactly. Purging. I try to take winter to reflect in a sense. And I think that's beautiful how you put that, Jennifer. It's exactly what it's for.
That was super beautiful. I loved that. And yeah, I think we're all taking a moment to breathe that one in because yeah.
It's just like hibernation, like you've said it before, man. It's like I'm a bear. I enjoy my bear mentalities. I want to sleep for the whole day some days, and I want to be warm in my cozy little comforted space, and I want to eat stuff that's probably not good for me and it'll stop me up forever, but dang it, I'm going to because it's good. And so we have this mindset that changes with the seasons too. So we have to love ourselves through each of the seasons, just like we're going through. Do you want to take over on Samantha's?
Sure. Samantha said, hello, everyone. Thank you all for being on live today and helping us all. Such a pleasure. We checked in with Viwi. She also said that my husband, oh my word, he's such a great cook. So maybe you coming in had part to do with Viwi's husband.
Yes.
And then, Carrie said, Mandee, I'm the one from Michigan that was trying to order from Sea Goddess. I was on last week and didn't realize you were flipping cards last. So I didn't ask and missed out. Is that a request I can make, please? And thank you. Sure. I'd love to pull you some cards, Carrie. And yes, whenever you're ready, come on and order from Sea Goddess. I know we sent you an email. We were waiting to hear back from. And yes, if you're just tuning in, we have seagoddesshealingarts.com and we have an awesome little merch shop on there, as well as all of our services and events going on. So, Carrie, let's pull a few cards for you. Carrie. You got a lot of masculine energy. There's a little time for you to take some action in your life right now. The first card that you got was Trader, exchange energy and create abundance. So right now is a good time for you to be focusing on work and abundance and what that looks like, whether that's putting extra work into your current career or working on a side project right now. It's really going to serve you, even if it's just coming up with ideas of what it is you're wanting to do to honor the energy you're putting out there. There's a lot happening within you that's stirring right now, and it's really important to honor that. Then you get the Warrior, to be fearless and stand strong. They're showing this around your throat chakra a little bit. It's okay and safe to really speak your truth to whoever you want and whatever you want right now, but always come from a place of grace and heart. And kind of the tone I'm using now, it's called like a loving assertiveness. Like, this is just who I am and how I feel and what's going on. And they're showing that warrior warrior energy coming in to help you just to feel much more grounded at this time. And then last but not least, you get the Lord. So to take charge with authority, you just have all the green lights on ripping off the band-aids and taking action on whatever it is that you're wanting to right now. And they're encouraging you to, if you're lacking a little motivation, one of my favorite TED Talks is called How to Stop Screwing Yourself by Mel Robbins. And it talks about the 5-second rule and how to act on your impulses and pair those with motivation, life force energy, so that we actually get things done. And they're just giving you a lot of blessings for whatever action you're trying to take right now. And like Crystal and I were talking about, it's winter time. So it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It might just be showing up for yoga each day. It might just be, eating a little healthier right now. It might be creating that vision board for that new business. But they're really wanting you to let a lot of this newer energy that's coming in with the retrogrades to serve you. And don't be afraid to use your drive and your energy and co-create what it is that you want most right now, Carrie. I hope that helps.
I love Carrie. When you said she was a masculine energy, I was like, boy, yes, she is. She cracks me up, this woman. She is a powerhouse of wonderful in every aspect of her life. I just love her.
To be to take charge with it. So right now, it's not too late to sign up. We're teaching a Mercury retrograde class through Sea Goddess. It's Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde. And we talk all about this Venus in Capricorn energy and what that looks like. And we're comparing it to Mary Poppins, because Mary Poppins magic witch sorceress who commands the wind, and she comes in and she gets George Banks, who's like the kind of more shadowy aspect and doesn't have the inner child and all of that, by showing up with such loving authority and making, the first thing she does when she gets to the house is she helps the kids clean up their room, but she does it with fun and awe and magic and then loving assertiveness. And when Mary looks in the mirror, she says she's practically perfect in every way. And she gives herself all these positive, affirmations. And Ursula, our astrologist, she's like, yeah, she's just a boss. She just owns how confident she is and she knows how good she is at stuff. And then you see her having these mirror talks with herself. And so there's a lot of Mary Poppins really represents that energy that we can embody right now with this Venus in retrograde, where we show up with love and discipline and devotion, but we also let there be laughter and smiles and funness with it as well, so that we keep raising our vibrations and we actually get things done with heart energy as opposed to this heavy pressure energy. So if you still want to sign up for that, there's a recording that you can get from the first class, and then there's still 2 more classes, and it's under classes on SeaGoddessHealingArts.com.
So she's a teacher, and she deals with students who are kind of in some heavier situations, and she's trying to find ways to bring light into their lives, because some of these kids don't have that for themselves. Not necessarily, it just is what it is. Sometimes there are some pretty dramatic things that happen to children, especially in inner cities and stuff like that. And she's connecting with these beautiful children and essentially taking charge and doing things different and saying, you know what? F the system. And this is how I'm going to do it, because it is working. And this is what's making these kids feel loved. And she has dinners with them, and she makes stuff for them, and she listens to them, and she's teaching them how to breathe and focus and be mindful and kind of meditate and take themselves out of something before it escalates into something different, because they've been taught to, just respond instead of doing this. And she's doing all the good things right now in her life. So I think that was pretty spot on for her. And
bowing to you, Carrie. Now that I know a little bit more, that's how these cards line up. Keep showing up, keep doing your work in the world. That's what this abundance is about, and all that trading of love. And it's really going to create more abundance. Be fearless with it. Fuck the system. Do what you got to do right now. I've even seen scenes of the movie Freedom Writers, and that makes me so inspiring. And she didn't give a shit. And really, you are the authority. The other part of that is for you, Carrie, and for many of the women watching right now and people watching, we are lighthouses, and our lights can get dimmed pretty easily. And it's really important to be mindful of what it is that we need to do in order to preserve our light and to foster our light and to feed our light the oil that it needs in order to grow larger. So be mindful of that so that we can share it.
Yeah, I was I absolutely love everything, because it was just so spot on for her in her life right now. And I was that's beautiful. She is having to be a little bit more masculine in her life. And, sometimes we have to step up and really push things forward in a way. I lost the comments. I'm sorry,
Oh,
I'm
yes.
trying to
Okay.
go
Oh, I
back up.
just mind dropped to a new one, and Zamaya's on. Welcome. Yes, this is a nice, safe space, and we're so excited you're here. We're just holding some soul space, doing a few readings, and talking about what's coming through with spirit right now.
Once again, so sorry, lost my comments. I'm so happy that all of you are here as I'm going back up in my little space.
I think we left off on, oh, wow, we have a lot of comments. You're right.
Yeah, we do. That's why I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys, because we're like giving readings and saying stuff, and I'm not reading
Yeah,
as
we
she's
love you
talking. I'm
guys.
listening, and I'm so sorry, but I appreciate all of you.
What was the name of that book again? Oh, God, what book? Oh, my gosh, so many great things. Okay, so there was Carrie's where I left off. We did that reading. And then Vivi said, "You're the best." And her granny was the glue and the K that took that from her. Oh, and Kay took that from her. And then
Yeah.
Samantha said, if any question or if any messages for me, I'm here listening. I hope Justin Scholes comes through and visits me. Do you have anything coming through with that?
I have loved being presented to. I'm going to tell you, this is not Dustin. This is not a male energy at all. This is actually guides, angels, your people. They're giving you love right now and actually taking and cradling you, which means that right now you need to be cradled in your life, because they're really making me feel like there has been like a heavy weighted blanket that has been sitting on your shoulders for quite some time. And they're giving me a roller coaster ride, which usually means to me that you are in a mental emotional struggle right now in your life, and it probably has been going on for about 2 years based on how they're presenting it to me, and it feels like it's just like one thing after another. So as soon as you make your way through one thing, it's almost like it's opening the door to the next. And how they're presenting this to me right now is they're making me feel like it's not just that you're exhausted. I feel like you're done, and I actually don't think you can take on anymore. And they want you to know that they see that, they feel that, and they understand that, because I think that you're almost scared that it's like another thing is going to happen around the corner. And so what they're doing is they're making me feel like they're trying to cradle you with love, to let you know and understand that the things that have taken place in your life do not make sense to you at all right now. And I don't think this has to do with just a passing, even though they're giving me boom, 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 which usually is my symbol for a loss that have taken place like one after another. And so a loss can be a death that takes place with us losing somebody, but it also can be something that takes place in our natural life, because that's a death that also takes place when we lose something that we're focused on relationship wise, something like that, and then all of a sudden it's not there for us anymore and we have to rebuild and pick ourselves up. The problem is that they're making me feel almost like you've been doing this for quite some time, and that's where the exhaustion comes in, because it almost feels like you're not getting that time to recoup at all what your energy is. And so they really want to give you love and let you know that they're here, but they're also making me feel like right now you're kind of in this in between unbalanced state where you don't really know what to look for, or what to talk to, what to communicate with, what to bring into your sensibilities, because things have happened so drastically. And I feel like you've been hit hard, is I guess how I'm going to say this. I feel like you're on the upswing of that, but they are making me feel like you are in a healing process right now, which is probably why it's hitting you so hard. And so what they're giving to me is they're really making me feel like in this upswing, it doesn't make sense to you right now, but essentially there's this beautiful path that is going to be represented into your life in the near future. I almost want to say within the next 6 months, because I feel like it's coming fast, but it's going to help you understand the process of why all of these other things have happened. I am going to tell you there is no lesson in death in the way that I present it, or the way spirit presents it to me. You will never hear me sit here and say, oh, well, you had to lose this person in order for this to happen. That's not true. We can have lessons and things come about in our lives without losing a human being. However, there are some things that can come into our life after the fact, during the grieving process, during the learning process, and during the healing process, that we can kind of take in, receive, and grow from. And I really feel like your whole life is kind of flip-flopped in a very drastic way. And I feel lost. I feel a little stagnant. I feel a little bit like stifled. But you're trying and you're working on it, and you are becoming a boss in your own life. And I feel like you have a lot to be proud of. And they're really making me feel like some days what's harder for you is kind of like walking through quicksand or tar, and you're really trying and trying, but you won't give up. And that's the fight that they look for in people. And so please know that they are using you in life. They are giving you things in life. They are teaching you in life. They are not far away. They are always right here. And even though it feels like that might be something that you're disconnected from, does not mean that you're disconnected. And that even means from your people. I try to teach a huge, huge, huge game with people that you don't need me. You do not need Mandee. You can connect yourself. It's just how we kind of get through the process of what we think spirit should be bringing us and what they do bring us. And they're making me feel like your heart, essentially, and some of your grieving and some of your pain and some of that structure is almost keeping you from allowing yourself to open up the floodgates to what can be with your empathic soul. You're a beautiful empathic being, but you don't want to be vulnerable. You've been vulnerable in the past, and that hasn't always worked out for you. And they're just making me feel like it's not really a question of why at this point, it's a why not. It is scary to do that. But boy almighty, once you break through the process of what those floodgates look like and understand that vulnerability is strength, that's when we really have those breakthroughs and we start to understand that we are so freaking powerful. People who have emotional balance and people who can balance out what's happening in their life are superheroes. They are freaking superheroes, and you are no different. And so please know that, yes, things have been pretty rough over the past 2.5, 3 years of your life, but things are looking up better for you. And just because you've lost a lot in a short period of time over the past 10 years of your life does not mean that that's going to follow you into the next step and stage. Keep working towards your goals, because I do feel like you've tried to give up on yourself a couple different times and they're making me feel like they just keep pushing you. But at the same time, you've worked really hard for what you're going through, and it's about to come to a close. You're about to receive it. You're about to get through it. You're about to finally have those things that you wanted. So I don't know if it's a degree. I don't know if you're working in a job. I don't know what that is, but they're really making me feel like there is a closure coming to all those things that you've been working towards. So keep going, okay? They promise it'll be over soon. And also, you do have somebody over here who is giving me the I love you sign. They're also doing this, which means they couldn't speak or communicate prior to their passing the way that they wanted. They're also snapping their fingers for me and pulling a rug out from underneath my feet, which usually means to me a tragedy that took place in their life that flipped things over and nobody saw it coming. It's very quick, very unexpected. They're giving me head to toe numbness. And they're also giving to me breathing problems, which usually is my representation of somebody who may have had like an accidental overdose or an overdose that took place into their life. And they are giving lots of love because they are making me feel like 100% accidental over here. They are not making me feel like this is a dang thing that I would have done to myself. So please just know, they just want you to know, like, I didn't do this. Also, very funny human being. They are making me feel like they were the life of the party in everybody's freaking world. And also, I feel like people still have my shit. So I just want you to know, they're literally like giving me clothes. Like, I feel like people still got my damn shoes. I am ecstatic with this process because I did not know that people want to keep this stuff. I don't have, I feel like I ain't got nothing. Like, I don't got nothing to my name really per se, but GD, I left behind some really cool stuff in the process of some of the things that people can say, hey, that's so-and-so's. Also, they are making me feel like they were essentially cremated and how they're presenting it to me, because I am going to say there's a lot of humor in how their ashes are being separated. They're putting them out on a table in a line and they are separating them. Okay. Lots of funniness behind that. It's a great sense of humor. And they're making me feel like different people got different parts of their ashes. But here's the thing. I feel like somebody has a bigger part of their ashes than everybody else. And I almost feel like they want to put them into something for like a memorial, a piece of art, something along those lines. And so they're giving lots of love with that. Also, like, I feel like choices were made. They're like, choices were made. This is what life is. You know, sometimes we do stupid shit. Sometimes we make choices. Sometimes we make decisions. They're not always the best decisions and choices, but choices were made. Okay. There's a space. It's like I'm in, I'm out, I'm in and out. And so I don't necessarily feel as though we're talking about an addict here. I feel like somebody who's a little bit more on the social scene, somebody who just likes to feel good every now and then. And I feel like they were kind of given some bad crap, because I do almost want to say that I feel like this was laced with something different, in the sense that I do feel very fentanyl related, where it's a very much heavier substance that's in my body and in my system. And so they're like, crap, I do want you to know there's no fear though. He's like doing this to me, which means to me like, yo, when I pass, I didn't like go through the process of, oh crap, and all this stuff is happening. Oh no, he's making me feel like I done fell asleep. And so there's no fear, there's no time to struggle, there's no anything that's happening. But they want to let you know this because I feel like the body went through some stuff prior to passing in the letting go of the soul, essentially. And so people who would have walked in, people would have found him, would have seen him in a pretty detrimental way. And so he just wants everybody to know that just because his body looked this way and because this is how it looked, doesn't mean that he felt any of that took place. He had already escaped. He was already in a sleep state. He didn't feel all of that. what he felt was not that experience. And so please just let other people know. I don't know if this is for you, Samantha, or if somebody else done hijacked what was coming in, but I just need to let you know that this guy is a funny human being. He's absolutely wonderful. And I feel like he takes 100% responsibility for his dumb moves that day. Okay. Because I feel like it was just dumb, absolutely retarded. I love how Spirit's honest.
You're killing me with this one. This is
It's
great.
like, I love how Spirit's so honest because he's legitimately making me feel like he didn't go to the right goddamn dealer that day. He is really making me feel like, so I have this guy that I usually talk to, but he wasn't available. And so I decided to go with this dude instead because somebody said he was reputable, and fuck if he wasn't. Pretty much is how he gave that to me. Excuse my French, but it's like the whole freaking thing just went downhill from that mistake, and that's where it goes. And so he takes responsibility. Did what he did. He loves his people though, and this choice had no bearing on how much he loves you guys. So whoever he belongs to, please just know he's amazing, he's wonderful, and he's okay.
Oh, that was so beautiful, Crystal. Samantha said she's over there crying and laughing, and she needed this, and she's so happy for us.
Oh, yay!
Ladies. And she had a couple. She said every time she gives up, she confirmed that the angels do always get her back up and help her. And that she confirmed that she's been suffering with some depression, so it's been hard. So I'm sure that was super, super supportive. And then at the same time, as I was zooming through, I'm so proud of you guys. Thank you, Lexi, for giving all the book references to Jennifer, Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life, Medical Medium. We also love Dodging Energy Vampires by Dr. Christiane Northrup's a really nice one. I'm just scrolling back up because there were so many comments to see if we missed anything. Oh, you guys are just all so the best. And I just love all these conversations. Jen Burke, how do we highlight a comment? How do you do that?
You touch on it.
You might have to touch on it. But Jen Burke said, thank you for that finger hold technique. I've been pretty anxious and lost lately, and anything to help to keep me focused is appreciated. I've had some health issues and I'm working through, and there are many unknowns that still keep my mind spinning. Yeah, that finger hold, it helps so much. And just also taking a few deep breaths, asking your angels to surround you in white and blue light and protect you. Asking Archangel Raphael, hey, can you come load me up with some beautiful green healing light? I don't know what's going on right now, but I know that these things will help me. And like, we don't have to wait for doctors. Like, it's like we need our diagnosis. Sometimes we need some information or some tests, but we can start healing at any point in time. And if we're kind of worried about something, I went through a breast cancer scare for 2 months and I was like, well, I got to keep waiting, I guess. And it's just going to keep waiting to find out. And every time I was supposed to go get a mammogram, it got canceled and all this stuff. Turned out I had a really severe infection. Excuse me. But I just started treating it like, I was like, all right, what if I do have cancer? I need to start like putting that in my mind and like, how do I want to combat that? And I don't need to feed it stress. I don't need to feed it sugar. I need to start doing like these sorts of things. And so, none of us are perfect, but little by little, sometimes we just got to tackle stuff. And most of the time when things are coming up in our body or there's some sort of dis-ease, it's just our body trying to tell us about some sort of trauma or drama or something that's an imbalance that just deserves our attention. And our bodies are so resilient. It's amazing how quickly they will bounce back once we give them what they need.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are so many comments.
You
guys are amazing. Like, I love this, that we have this many comments.
I'm scrolling through a little because we're kind of coming towards the end of our time here. Lexi said, yes, I love this F the system. Mandee has been I work with Lexi's son, with my 7-year-old who battles ADHD. And the work she does has helped him so much. It's learning to breathe, talk to angels, tapping. Tapping's another huge one. Using stones. And the last well check-in, the school asked what we were doing different because of the difference in him. It takes one person to make a huge difference. These tools work so well with kids. we are born remembering like what peace is like, what balance is like, what presence is like, and all this other stuff that we learn is what rocks those boats. And so a lot of times just giving kids crystals, giving them little tapping routines, playing some sleep music for them, asking the angels to surround them in white and blue light, teaching them that it's okay to ask the angels to protect them. It moves mountains. So if you guys have kids out there struggling, Lexi's a great one to talk to about that for support, and just know that the angels can help them too. All right. We love you too, Glenda.
I'm going to highlight this one. This is towards the bottom. It says, Mandee, can you please give the info for the book that you book before you sign off? Is that the autoimmune one you were telling me about? The Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life one?
Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. Oh, the one I was telling Jennifer about was Thyroid Healing by the Medical Medium, I think. Medical Medium has several books. Cleanse to Heal is a great one, the original one. He's got a thyroid one. He's got a liver one. They're all coming one by one.
I have all of them upstairs.
Yeah, it's like a whole encyclopedia deck now. Carrie asked what card deck I was using. When I pulled Carrie's cards, I was using Kyle Gray's Angels and Ancestors from Hay House, which is such a beautiful deck. Kyle Gray's got great content and angel meditations every day if you guys like the angel stuff. Samantha gave you a confirmation. It sounded like Dustin. He would give shoes to the homeless in front of there you go.
Awesome.
In front of
so that's super cool.
He did a lot of drugs, but he had a great heart.
I don't care if he did a lot of drugs. I have learned that I don't judge people who do anything with their life. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I have done my own crap in life. I do not judge other people by the choices they make. That's one of the things that I had to learn a long time ago. And some of the most beautiful people are the ones that are rougher around the edges that society tends to push off. So I'm just going to tell you, beautiful people come in all packages, shapes, and sizes. And he just seemed like a very fun human. So Mandee, how can people get a hold of you?
I do want to say, Sophia made a comment. My kids love to light our candles before we blow them out at the end of the day and say something we're grateful for. There is so much, like so many beautiful things to blowing candles out. When I have anxiety or I'm worried about people I can't help, I did this a lot back when I was a social worker. Like I light a candle and I say, angels, please help those who I can't help if it's for their highest good. Please help me come back into being me. And for everybody, that's something we all got to work on often. And that's another way. And just setting intentions and blowing out gratitudes, and kids love it. And just candle meditations, just staring at a candle and meditating. So thanks for bringing that up, Sophia. Just beautiful tools. Yes, you can get a hold of me on SeaGoddessHealingArts.com. We also have a Facebook page, a YouTube channel with all kinds of amazing shows, including this one, coming to you often. And I would just be honored if I could serve you in any way, help you in any way, to hold soul space. We have classes all the time. We have some retreats and festivals coming up. And I'm always honored to be here. Thank you so much, Crystal. How can people?
They have a lot to offer. Sorry, I didn't mean to. They have Sea Goddess Healing Arts has a lot to offer. A lot of different people, and even if you're in like the Jersey area, they have a lot to offer that way too. I would literally stop in and see these guys and like see what they can offer, because when they do have their cool healing spaces and stuff like that, I'm so in love with them. I do. I follow them on Facebook and I like drink them in myself. I'll be there in spirit, but at the same time, they offer so much to so many different people who are in every realm of understanding, opening, and healing. And that's what makes their space so awesome, because there's a whole lot of different readers and a whole lot of different healers involved in one space. And so you can kind of get a little bit of everything from just being there amongst them all. So it's really cool. I love them.
Maybe we can peer pressure you and Ben to come out for the Light and Sound Healing Arts Festival. Probably going to be around Mother's Day weekend.
Okay. Well, I'm writing that down and I'm going to set intention.
Yeah. And we'll be announcing soon. We've got a couple meetings this week, so we'll have official dates soon, but it's early May, around Mother's Day time.
Okay. Like, I feel like my son would want to come also. So you might meet Corey because he's
Family
so
trip.
into crystals. He's so into all healing everything. Like, he is such a powerful scientist, understanding spiritualist. It's cool. It's so fun. He's a cool
And
kid.
for you, it's a haunted lighthouse.
I know, right? It's awesome for me. Be like, so can I channel, please? Can I tell you what's up?
Definitely.
So, I thank you guys. You can find me at Spirit Speaks with Mitten Medium on YouTube and on Facebook. My website is midmittenmedium.com. Thank you guys so much. Just had another one come through. Is Zamea. I am blessed that I have met Mandee and Lexi. You ladies, love you so much. They're wonderful people. Like, all of them, amazing, wonderful healers and a
So
powerhouse of
yeah.
beautiful, beautiful energy. But I thank you guys for holding space with us. Thank you, Mandee, so much.
We love you
Have
all.
a great night.
If you haven't already, please give us a like, a share, a follow. And we will see you all next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a great night, guys.